Ladies and gentlemen, on August 21st, 2013, we bring you the brand new, redesigned APBA football game, the basic version. Redesigned, repackaged, and what we'll do here in a companion video to Tom Nell Shopping's unveiling of the new baseball basic game at the APBA blog, we'll walk through the box here. And first of all, I've got to say that for comparison, I'm very happy to see that this box is on a par with the dimensions of the mid-90s football box, which is quite sturdy, not as small as the 2011 edition, but certainly not as large as our beloved 60s, 70s, and 80s boxes. All right. In fact, we're saving a little bit of space depth-wise here. In fact, I pull out my old pica pole here, and we're saving about a little more than half an inch, close to between half and 3/4 of an inch in depth. So buy a bunch, store them, donate them, buy one of each, baseball, football. Maybe we'll see it in the soccer game. Now, open her up here, and you see that good thickness again on these boxes, and it's again compared to this version from the mid-90s, maybe a little thinner, but still quite sturdy, quite protective of the precious contents. And inside, as is the current practice, we've got the team cards arranged not in the envelopes, but shrink wrapped separately. So of course we'll have the 2012 Ravens and Niners starting here, and the 2012 Alabama Notre Dame teams, and we'll be curious to see. In fact, you can see that they look, there's no real difference typographically, using the same scheme except you'll note on the college cards the height, weight, and class. So that's an interesting note there. And of course, your shaker, your envelopes, obviously. Let's see, and your play cards, your 4-team roster, very nice. Now here is the little collateral material, the introductory sheet. Of course, we'll see all this. Score sheet. Oh, interesting. Now this is differences in the college and pro football game. APBA is proud to offer 2012 college football teams. This is an experiment to determine the viability of a separate college football game. APBA suggests that each quarter of a college game be 36, not 30 plays. You can adjust the sphere if you want. It's your game. So that's a crucial difference. And rule differences between the college and pro game. Kickoffs are from the 35, touch strikes brought to the 20 for the pro, and the 25 for the college game. Defensive pass interference is a spot foul in the pro game. It's 15-yard penalty in college, etc. Important rule change for option quarterbacks. The nature of college football game is that many quarterbacks are also the primary rushers for their teams. For those that use an option system, the QB can be used as a runner on the outside run play, similar to a halfback or fullback. Remember, this is your game. Experiment with the rules. We are interested to hear your suggestions or experience using alternative ideas. A great summary sheet there, and that's very interesting. The college game, they suggest 36 plays. Your score sheet looks a little glossier this time, and visually in keeping with the theme. The score sheet's still copywritten 2007, and here we go. This here in official form is the Scott Fletcher's Fletch 67. And that's we'll go through this to see if there are any major changes to it, but that's a really great thing to see. Obviously, so many players use that system. It's one of the an easy top 5 innovation throughout the history of APBA football, and that's a great affirmation for the work of Scott Fletcher and for all the people who have embraced that innovation. That is really cool to see. The good old board. Well, I must say that the board is still not thick. It's not a thick board. It looks like the size of the mid-90s board, and I have several of these boards in here. This box contains many of the boards and basic booklets that are going to Canton with us in a couple days, but it's certainly visually clear. There could be some design changes to it, but overall it's pretty crisp. Certainly, again, matches the thematically with the rest of the game. And now, on to the major component. Oh, take a look at the back of the box here. Now that's a nice, this is a great illustration. It kind of harkens back to those wonderful brochures of the 60s and 70s that really, I think, all got us all hooked, and now includes college football. So that's a great, great new messaging all around. And here's your new basic book. And it is indeed the same dimension as the old master. Rather, well, with so many versions, it's the current master book, which, according to discussions on the forums, the master book will be next. And now the basic book reads kind of, I guess you'd call that horizontally now, wouldn't you? Quick start guide, detail, rules, position designator codes, tabbed, as Tom noted in his video for the baseball game. So you've got your black tabs there indicating what pages you're looking at, and those tabs do indeed aggregate the charts based on field position. So between your goal line and your 14-yard line, you've got your long pass, medium pass, short pass, in and outside run from your 15 to their 31. Well, and this is actually for the long pass, of course, between your 15 and 49, and then the 50 and 30, you've got your 2 long passes. And between, so that's still a little bit somewhat out of order, obviously, because the medium pass runs from medium and short passes run from the 15 to 31. Your 15 to your opponent's 31, as do the inside and outside runs. Then you come down to the 30 to 15. You can still do the medium pass. You get the short between the opponent's 30 and 10-yard line. Then you get the outside and inside run between the 30 and 10, between the 9 and the goal line with the short pass. So it's, and again, we'll go through and see which exact results. Well, let's pull out the book here. We'll just pull out, for the sake of comparison, we'll pull out the 2000 edition rule book, and we'll just go to inside running play between the offenses, or rather between the defense's goal and 9-yard line. So just take a look here really quick for the ABC indices, and it looks like the results are the same: 4-3-2, 3-2-1, 2-1-1. Looks like we've got the same results. Now, except down to the fumble numbers here, there are some revisions from 33 to 36, the kind of quirky numbers there. But other than that, the results from lines 1 to 32 look pretty much the same. Also, the 13, 14, 15 change from this basic, which gave you just the actual person recovering the fumble. This basic book uses the locator, looks like the new identification chart for fumbles, block hits, interceptions. So I tell you, it's quite easy. It's black and white, which is easy to read, and I'm generally not a fan of color coding. Looking at this, maybe a little color coding on the tabs might have helped. to provide at least that little USA Today style visual cue. But overall, it's certainly sturdy paper. It's a good, I don't know, 60 pound, 80 pound, pretty glossy. Seems like it won't rub off. And penalties are still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 letter and 36 number options on penalty charts there, with 35 actual penalties. Let's take a quick look here. I'm going to take a look at our injury charts. Right up front, here are the optional defensive rules for advanced game players, the keying and double covering. That's a nice breakout. If the master game book is indeed up for revision, then I think we can really, I think it would be clear that we'd look for the breakdown of all the plus and minus line additions for the twin tight end or 3 receiver, hopefully a 4 and 5 receiver set. Certainly would like to see Greg Barrett's innovation in collaboration with Phil Malloy on the read option. That seems like a must-have, and certainly getting rid of the old full house backfield from the early '80s master game. I can't imagine anyone really using that these days. But the punting chart and kicking chart go to line 42. Let's check out that injury chart, which I would still no. Our injury chart, the one thing that obtains from day one for APBA Football is that 11 option injury chart. So you're still only out, a J4 player still is only out a game plus 2, the rest of the game plus 2 games, or the rest of the game plus a game. So to summarize, your 2 college, 2 pro teams, both your champion and challenger teams from the 2012 season. Your thicker box, really love it. The design certainly pops. That'll be great on a store shelf. And as we noted in a post earlier today, John Herson is sending a sample to the Pro Football Hall of Fame for them to consider selling in the store. And we'll certainly have plenty of people on hand to answer any questions for people if they see it. So after we're done gaming and we're patrolling the museum, we'd love to answer any questions out there. It'll be great. And the field, if you were looking for the classic thick field, you're not really going to be, I think, it's not where we might want it to be, but certainly that can be a prohibitive cost, as we can understand. And I'll just pull this down here really quickly to show where we were with even the 2000 edition. A good point to note. In fact, you can see that the dimensions are the same from the 2000 edition to the current edition. Now, actually, maybe a little bigger there on the 2000 edition. I see a lot of these 2000 sets go for pretty cheap, so you can always try to get one of those on eBay if you need that thicker field. You can also just attach this to some shipping cardboard. Usually cut out the bottom of the box that your new game comes in and throw it in there. Or maybe, this is the Martha Stewart portion of the show, perhaps you can create your own little stadium by putting your field in the box. Multiple functions there. So let's see, and we'll just see if I can dig out the mid-90s version of the field here. These are all the items that are, well, not all the items, but a lot of the items that are going to Canton. A lot of shakers. You need shakers and dice. This is the field from the 90s version of the game, and this is the version currently. So the new version of the board is slightly a little lesser in height than the 90s version, and a little lesser in width than the 2000 version. This 90s version actually is quite a good board. You can also find these games relatively cheap on occasion. When I say cheap, depending on the shipping, which of course varies, it's all over the map, but $15 to $20, you might be able to get one of those, again, if that is really critical to you. And I know I still use my 70s boards. I think that's just hard to beat those. Hard to beat those. But I was a little skeptical of the basic book here, but it's actually nice to have them have it the same size as the master book. And actually the college game with that rule sheet actually has me intrigued now. The speed of the game, if you do indeed use 36 plays, which actually might be something that you could employ if you're using two of the faster-paced NFL teams, say Kaepernick's Niners. Perhaps you'd want to try to get that, see if you make a compromise on the play adjustment there. That's an innovation that I mightn't have thought of, so that's a great addition to the game there. All in all, look for yours in the mail. You can't miss it. And I'm going to pull these cards out of their shrink wrap, put them in the envelopes, and take this out to Ohio. So many more miles to go for this little box here, but very, very glad to see that both games have been redesigned. I think it's overall quite a triumph, and certainly helps your storage to be able to have something this sturdy. Great for gifting. And you can also put more of your teams in there. I think there's plenty of room for, well, I guess that will remain to be seen if you can actually get all 32 team envelopes in this box. That might be a stretch. In any case, enjoy the new game. Congratulations to APBA for getting this done. And stay tuned for more updates out of Canton, Ohio for the inaugural APBA Football Club tournament. Take care.